Amigos, I'm super excited to have you here. Today, we are going to be having a very exciting topic. As you know, from 10.049, a lot of things have changed with batch telemetry. A lot of new features have been added, whereby you can record them all, export them all from your finance and operations ecosystems into Azure App Insights. But wait, there is more. With 10.049, now you can also have your Copilot Studio agents, the actions, their interactions, their patterns, their error details, a lot of insights. You can also get them exported from Dynamics 365's ecosystem, from Copilot Studio ecosystem into Azure Insights. And you can easily query them. You can easily find them how your Copilot Studio is behaving over last 14 days, 7 days, over a month, 6 months, anything, just by writing some simple KQL languages. So, without wasting much time, let me take you deeper. And just in case if you have not already liked and subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to do so. Sure. For starting with, I have created this app Insights, and in the instrumentation key, you need to note down this instrumentation key from it, and also you also have to note down the connection string. So both of this you would be needing in a later time. And then right under system administration, when you're coming to Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, under system administration, you can find the monitoring and telemetry parameters. So with that, it's coming with a lot of parameters that you can turn on optionally. You can have custom matrices, form runs, user sessions, X++ exceptions. A lot of new features have been added with 10.049. And you come to the environments tab, then you have to just pass on the environment ID. This environment ID is nothing but, so if you go to the Power Portal Admin Center, right down here, you can note down the environment ID from here, and you can grab that and paste that here. And then in the application insight registry, so if you come into this tab, you have to select the correct development environment. I mean, is it in development environment or test or production that you have to select from here? Instrumentation key, which I was talking about previously, you have to paste it here. And also the connection string also, you need to paste it right here. That's why I mentioned to get them copied somewhere. Coming back to my Azure App Insights, if I click on Application Dashboard, it should start showing me the user sessions, failed requests, server response times, lot of matrices, lot of KPIs rather, it's going to show you. You can also adjust the time, like past 24 hours or every hour, how you want to refresh it, that you also can mention out here. Okay, so you can add additional filters, and you can add tenant ID, action, activity ID, and a liter of number of filters to select from. Just not that, application data could be fetched from a number of sources: Windows events, syslog, client performance data, processes and dependencies, text logs, IIS logs, and whatnot. Okay, so with that, let me take you to Copilot Studio for Finance and Operation apps. So this is our very famous agent, very famous, well-known agent from Dynamics F&O. And all we need to do is to go to the settings and let this get loaded. And if we go to all the way down to the advanced tab, and inside the advanced tab, there is the application insights. So if we get inside this, so inside the connection string, you need to paste the connection string that you have previously copied. And then you can enable the advanced options. Say, for example, you can enable logging, you can enable the log conversation details, you can enable the log sensitive properties, you can also enable node execution events, and a lot of things. So these are all going to be logged on to App Insights, as your agent is going to talk to the end users And with that, if I come back to App Insights, then in monitoring, and then under that in the logs, I should be able to see, or rather I could be able to query the logs that are getting generated. So if you could see, the mode is right now KQL mode, but you can also have the same viewed in simple mode. So simple mode is just going to run you the details, the histories that you have run previously from your queries, that various queries that you have executed. And so let me switch back to the KQL mode, that is custom query language mode. And I've written a very simple query where actually I'm querying the custom events that got triggered within 14 days of time. And I am trying to summarize by the skills every topic, and I'm just trying to get the count of that. So say, for example, my agent's name is Finance and Operations. I'm trying to group the various skills inside that agent. And I'm also trying to understand the number of times that they got executed and trying to get them grouped by the skills. So if I click on that, it's going to take a while to bring me the details. And you see, these are the details of the skills that are part of my topic. And so essentially, what is a custom event and a request? So you'd see requests are basically any request your agent or your batch job, or you're opening a form, or you're trying to open uh, any X++ job, or you're trying to execute a batch. Anything like this is a request. In a similar way, when you are calling Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations agent also, that is also a request. But inside that, there could be one or more than one skills. So each of the skills is basically a custom event. So I am basically trying to understand how many different skills that are under the finance and operations that are getting called, that have got called rather in 14 days of time. And if I click on the chart, it's going to show me the details of the chart, details of the bar chart form of the calls that have happened within these 14 days of time. Okay, just not that, I've written a number of similar queries also. Let me take you to some more examples. And on a similar context, this query gives the errors that have happened over a certain period of time. And you can also change the time ranges from last 7 days to 48 hours or 3 days or 24 hours as per as your need be. And you can, what I'm doing is that I'm just getting the count of that. I'm summarizing that. And also I'm just ordering by the error count descending. The more is the number of errors, I am sorting by that. And I'm also basically rendering a column chart. I'm preparing a chart out of that, and I'm just finding out the which topic errored out the most. Most probably my none of my topic got into any errors in since last 7 days, so that's why the query is returning as null values. With some more examples, I want to find out in my user messages and how many times my bot has sent me back the messages. So if I click on run, it's again going to give me the details of the execution. And you see, it has increased in a continuous fashion, in a straight line. And I can also find the results in tabular fashion as well. And here is the detailed expressions on a tabular format. And suppose I also want to find out the error counts. uh, so here is another catch here. Say for example, I want to find out all the number of times my Copilot has actually interacted with my end user, not in a design mode, not in a test mode, but in the end user. Indirectly, end user is asking for something, and my Copilot agent is getting back to them. So for that, to find it out, you have to mention that is design mode is equals to false, which ensures that you are not executing that agent in a Copilot Studio design mode. You are not executing them from the design mode, but rather from the Copilot Studio sidecar from Financial Operation UI itself. So in that case, if you hit run, And here comes the results in a tabular format. And I can also switch back to the chart mode and I can find out what is happening here. So I didn't have much on non-design mode. Rather, my executions, my interactions had mostly been around in design mode only. So that's why it's coming in very sparse, very, very rare, very infrequent, spikes. Here is another example where I'm defining the variables like query start date. So it's 14 days back from now, and query end date is now. And I'm grouping by an interval of 1 day. And I'm just fetching the custom events just as I was mentioning. The custom events where timestamp is greater than query start date, and it should be also less than query end date, and user count. So user underscore ID is basically the syntax for fetching the user ID, and I'm basically counting on distinct user ID as per the time interval, and I'm also trying to express the results on a time chart. So I'm hitting run and it's going to fetch with the results, and here came the results. So as I requested, like it's basically splitting up based on an interval of 1 day's time and fetching the results. And also the chart, if I click on the chart, so basically the user count is always 1 because I am the only single user who has been operating on this account. And here is a similar example where I am querying the custom events, and I'm just trying to say like any events, any number of events that have been happening within 14 days, and I'm counting, I'm summarizing, I'm grouping by the topic name and ordering by the calls, number of calls, this in a descending order, and I'm rendering a bar chart based on that. So I'm hitting run, and yes, here came the results with in a tabular format. And additionally, you can also click on the columns, and you could see you can turn this presentation into a pivot mode. So you can drag and drop your columns into a chart as per your convenience, as per your requirement, and you can see the structure, how it shifts from one mode to another. Just not that, there are so many other features that KQL query can help you out with. So if you go to the performance tab, you will be able to see how your system is overall performing. And you can, once again, you can adjust the time from last 24 hours, 30 minutes, last hour, whatever you want to. And failures, you can also find out how your system is performing. Like, is there any, had there been any failure over last 24 hours or your given time range? And say, for example, it's showing me the count of the failures. If I click on this, it's going to give me the result of this, I mean, the details of these failures. And you can also sort by relevance and date. You can also find the availability of your insights. Okay, so how this insight has been doing from a given time range once again. And just not this, and there is more. You can redirect your data from app insights as live streams into Fabric. You can also make agents, meaningful agents, who is going to talk to you and answer in natural language processing, instead of letting you write any kind of KQL languages. You can directly ask your agent to get the answers. So with that, let me know how you felt about this video, what you felt about this concept overall. And if you want more on this topic, let me know. I'm going to bring up some more on this. With that, let me take your leave. Let me know how it goes. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Much love. Subs.